Okay, so this week you need to read chapters 9 and 8, which are axial and selective coding. Those are the pages. And then you need to open this file, which has a chart. It's a matrix. I'm going to show it to you. And when you do the task, you need to publish the results in this link. Publish here the task due June 10th. All right? Okay, so I'm going to show you the chart. Okay, here we have, this is a matrix. You will find the research question on the top. And here we have on this chart, on this column, which is explicación evidencia, we have the extracts, the excerpts of the participants' opinions, in this case, regarding actividades significativas promueven la oralidad. This is a code. So when you were reading the transcripts last week to find out keywords that could give an explanation of what the students were evaluating, you could probably find out, you probably found out that there are topics that can be grouped. That is what we need to do now, to classify the opinions that are similar in order to make groups, to create categories, and to create codes. So this is what we have here. Let's read it. The students' opinions regarding actividades significativas. It says, yo me acuerdo que yo en el foro hablé sobre los picapiedras. Algunos compañeros hablaron sobre los caballeros del zodiaco y cosas así. Entonces en el foro pues discutíamos si estábamos o no de acuerdo con esos temas. Y porque nos gustó, entonces todos participamos en esa parte. Y como que hizo más activa la clase y más participativa de todo el grupo. Y en medio de todo, a pesar de todas las clases que llevamos, este proyecto nos enseñó muchísimo. Y entonces ya como que nos soltábamos porque nos daba pena de pronto hablar en inglés con los otros compañeros. Entonces ya en esta parte ya hubo más tranquilidad y como más respeto hacia los otros compañeros en el momento que se tenía que opinar acerca de algo. So in this excerpt, the participant is talking about a forum exercise in which they had to talk about their favorite childhood cartoon. So she says that she liked the activity because they were able to remember some information they had previously, but they were able to share that experience and they were able to speak. So this person these words that we have here are for the person who talked, which is G, is the paragraph 11. And we found out in other students, in other participants, similar opinions about the forums or those speaking exercises. So that's why we grouped them and we created a code for that group. I'm going to read the other example. It says, me gustó mucho esa parte y más que lo hubieran enfocado hacia los muñequitos. Y entonces allí era donde yo te decía ahorita que nos devolvimos mucho en el tiempo. Por ejemplo, acá hablábamos de Pinky y Cerebro, que son dos ratoncitos, que son las penúltimas siluetas negras que tienen. Discutíamos sobre Pinky y Cerebro, sobre la actitud de Bart Simpson y sobre la mala influencia que tiene este chico en los niños. Esta etapa me gustó muchísimo y fue verdad muy interesante y aprendimos mucho porque se reconocieron muchísimas cosas que ya se habían olvidado. El vocabulario que se utilizó hablando de estas imágenes en el foro, por ejemplo, diciendo cuáles eran nuestros programas favoritos porque nos habían gustado, qué nos habían gustado. Luego, cuando ya tuvimos que resolver el cuestionario, yo recuerdo que allí hablaban algo acerca de los años maravillosos. Algunos de mis compañeros decían, yo sé cuál es, yo sí lo vi. Entonces yo soy la más vieja del grupo, porque yo sí me acuerdo de esa película. Entonces es muy novedoso, me pareció muy chévere trabajar en esa etapa. Okay, this is the same student, but again she's talking about the idea of talking because of the activity that was proposed. Here we have, let's see, a different student. It's a student J, the participant J. He says, ese ejercicio también me pareció bonito, porque es algo parecido a lo que hicimos, a lo de hablar 3 minutos en la plataforma. Es como dar la opinión acerca de cuando uno era niño a los programas que hay hoy en día. So this person again is saying that he liked it. He liked the speaking exercise. And again, and this person later says, bien, me pareció chévere el ejercicio. Nosotros realizamos esa actividad. Y en cuanto a, yo pues por lo general no tengo la costumbre de, por ejemplo, ver TV shows o American TV shows, sino que pues así de hecho muy poco veo televisión, pero veo uno que otro programita. Entonces mencioné uno de ellos, hablé de MasterChef Colombia, que vi algunas temporadas el año pasado y este año. Entonces me pareció bueno porque es un método de uno poder relacionarse con lo que uno ha visto y aprender de eso, de lo que uno de pronto le gusta.
Que no, mi vida.
Sorry, a second. Okay, good evening, Jorge, Mario, and Monica. Okay, I continue. This person was J, okay? The first one was G, and the second one is J. And the third person who talks about the same topic is R. And he says, en lo personal me parecieron buenos porque uno le da como una perspectiva a lo que uno vio cuando era niño y la conversación de los integrantes del ejercicio de listening. Mencionaba algunos personajes y decían, hablaban de esos, qué tipo de personaje uno, por ejemplo. Popeye, esos personajes que a uno le daban risa, programas de cartoons y cómics. Entonces uno empezaba a recordar lo que veía. Yo a veces veía Scooby-Doo o Johnny Bravo o algunos de ellos Looney Tunes y todo eso. Y uno empezaba a recordar lo que uno veía, el Chavo, bueno. Entonces me parecieron chéveres porque uno empieza a recordar, a memorizar lo que uno vio y de pronto empieza uno como a sacar algo de eso que aprendió, que le pareció chévere, cuál es el personaje con el que se identificaba, que lo marcó. Bueno, okay, so this example, what I'm trying to show you in this example is that the 3 students out of 5, so the research had 5 participants and 3 of them mentioned that they like the speaking exercises in the forums because they learned, because they remember information that was good for them to remember about the cartoons they watched when they were children. And because of that, because it is repeated 3 times, I mean, it is repeated by 3 different students, is now a code for the data. So the code, these words that were here used, come from the person who analyzes the data. So these are the words that were created that are las actividades significativas promueven la oralidad. So the person who analyzed the data considered that having students talking about their favorite childhood cartoons was significant for them, and that's the reason why they talked. They liked the activity and they talked, they practiced. Okay, so that's what you have to continue doing with the data. These excerpts were taken from 3 different transcripts. The transcript of the student G, the transcript of the student J, and the transcript of the student R. So what you need to do this week is to find out commonalities in the 4 transcripts, to group those opinions in order to create codes like the one that I just read. I'm going to read other codes in order to explain why those 2 codes make part of a category. Here we have las actividades que requerían búsqueda de información motivan a los estudiantes a practicar el idioma y a aprender. Okay, this student is Jay, and he says, esa actividad también estaba interesante. Digamos, primero tenía uno que buscar la información, luego prepararla, escribirla y pues luego también delante de los otros compañeros. Y pues a pesar de que fueron solamente 3 minutos, digamos, tenía uno que buscar bastante información para desarrollar los 3 minutos. Ese ejercicio me gustó mucho. Bueno, otra cosa también es que fue un tema libre. No fue algo que digamos fue un tema para todos, sino fue un tema libre. De esta forma como que uno también se motiva a hablar, a escribir, a investigar sobre algo que a uno le ha gustado. Como hacer comparación entre las 2 épocas y también lo mismo. Si de pronto uno no conocía de programas de hoy, era como investigar algo y dar la opinión. Me pareció fácil y agradable también para hacer. And student L says, claro, profe, obviamente, y de igual manera le genera a uno como estudiante la necesidad de aprender aún más el idioma. O sea, no solo quedarse con lo que sale en el trabajo, sino que le genere a uno, obviamente, muchas más preguntas. Que venga, tengo que empezar a investigar. Le da a uno pautas y le da a uno herramientas para seguir en el proceso. So these 2 participants were talking about an exercise in which they had to research a little bit. And they mentioned that they liked the activity. They mentioned the word interesting. They mentioned the word motivating. It was nice, easy, fosters the need to learn. It's a tool to continue the process. That's the reason why those 2 comments or excerpts here are about the same thing and help us to create a category, a code, which is las actividades que requerían búsqueda de información motivan a los estudiantes a practicar el idioma y a aprender. Okay. When you read chapters 9 and 10, which are about actual coding and selective coding, you will find out that the idea is to continue grouping the codes in order to create a category. In this case, those 2 codes talk about activities that help the students to learn, and that's the name of the category. So which is similar what is similar between this code and the second one is that both talk about activities and both are mentioned that students learned something or practice the language. So that's why the name of the category is actividades que promueven el aprendizaje. So the idea when analyzing data is to create groups, right? So this code is later labeled as it's a subcategory that is part of this family, which is the category number 1. So the task for this week, after reading the 2 chapters, is to find out a third code for the same category. You will write it here, and you will choose here the examples for a third code. You will write here the letter of the participant, the paragraph where the excerpt was taken, and the number. So in this case, this sentence, this opinion was taken from the transcript of the student L and was taken in from paragraph 2049. Okay, so you will find out a third code and you will need to find out 2 more codes for a second category. Okay, 2 more codes. There are much more codes that you will only be asked to find out 2 more codes for a new category and 1 code more for the category that is already in this example. Okay, so I would like to know if you have questions about the task.
Yes, teacher, can you repeat just the last part that you said? I couldn't hear. My audio was broken.
Sure. Okay, so here in this part, you will write the third. No, let's say this is C. Here we have category number 1, and we have a code. This is code 8 of category number 1. This is code B of category number 1. So you will need to find in the data code C for category number 1. Plus, you need to find out a second category with 2 codes. Okay, here you need to choose from the data the examples that exemplify those 2 codes. So here you will need to find out at least examples from 2 participants that support the name of the code that you will create here. And the same here, you will need to choose at least 2 examples of 2 different participants that are about the category that you are going to create here. Sorry, the code that you're going to create here. And these 2 codes need to be about the same family, let's say, to create a category here. If you want, we can again analyze this example. Here, in the data, when analyzing the data, we found out that participant G and J and participant R were talking about one exercise which was the forum speaking activities. And the 3 of them said that exercise helped them to practice speaking, and they considered that was an activity they liked because they could exchange information about their childhood, their favorite childhood cartoon. So since what was similar in the three students' opinions was that they like the activity because they could speak. That's the name of the code. Las actividades significativas promueven la oralidad. Then, in the data, in the transcripts, the different transcripts, we found out that student J and student L talked about an exercise which was to find out, to prepare a 3-minute presentation about their favorite TV program. So these two students mentioned that that specific exercise was motivating because they wrote, they talked, they researched, and they found out that those exercises, they liked both that exercise because it was interesting, because it promoted learning, and because it promoted the need to continue in the learning process. So because of the two students mentioned a similar or had a similar opinion, so the code was that those activities that require students to look for information motivated the students to practice the language and to learn. So in a way, those are the words that the students, the idea of writing the code is to find out what words we can use to express that the students had similar opinions about what. And this code B and this code A belong to the same category because both codes are about activities and both codes talked about students, that the students were encouraged or they had the opportunity to practice and learn. That's why the name of the category was actividades que promueven el aprendizaje. Okay, but the words that are here is what you have to do. It's what you need to create. Again, after reading chapters 9 and 10, you will have this, it will be more clear for you when you read what is actual coding and what is selective coding. Do you have questions?
Teacher,
Yes.
is possible say that the category can be related to the question and the code is related to the answer to the students?
No, both
No?
the codes, no, the codes and the categories need to answer the question. If the question is what is the evaluation of the students regarding the learning object,
Is the principal question.
yes, the answer is that students think that that there are activities that promote learning. Those activities need to be significant to promote the practice of speaking, and those activities need to be or promote research, or the activities that promote research help students to practice and learn. So those are the opinions of the students about the learning object. They consider that those activities that promote learning in the learning object are the ones that are meaningful and promote speaking, and the ones that promote research.
Okay. The code is more specific.
Exactly. Yes,
And the
because
category is a general.
exactly. So let's think like this is the big one. Inside the big one, we have the codes. Inside the codes, we have the explanation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks, teacher.
Okay. Monica asks if it is necessary to write examples literally. Yes, you just need to copy and paste from the transcripts the words of the participants and paste them in this chart to exemplify the code. So after choosing the code, after choosing the explanations, the excerpts, what you need to do is to find out the best words that describe what is similar between the students' opinions of the excerpts that you chose that are similar. So what are the words that help you to describe what it is similar in those students' opinions? And the same with the category. What are the words that describe the similarities between codes A, B, and C? Do you guys have more questions about the task? Okay, what is the indice is the letter of the participant, in the transcript you have, instead of a name, you have a letter that identifies the participant who gave the opinions. So you need to write the letter, the paragraph. I mean, PR means paragraph, and number 11 is the number of the paragraph where the excerpt was taken. All right. Okay, so we have some minutes, so we are going to listen to Fernando, Alexander, and Monica, if you are ready to present your topic, which is ethnographic studies. Are you guys ready? Okay, Alexander, I'm going to give you the floor.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Alexander, we can hear you.
Okay. So this group is made up of 3 students. And well, they are Monica Molina, Fernando Campo, and myself, Alexander Oviedo. So our presentation is about ethnography and all the characteristics and all the tools that are used to do a research in this kind of field. So let's start with the introduction. As you know, ethnography is a study of people in their
Alexander, I'm sorry, could you please share your screen? Could you please share the presentation?
Sure, 1 second. This one. All right. So we're good?
Yes, we can see it. Thanks.
So ethnography is the study of people in their environment through the use of methods like participant observation. So, and they also use face-to-face interviewing. Now, this kind of research, ethnography, is designed to explore the cultural phenomenon where the researcher observes society from the point of view of the subject of the study. So we use ethnography research specifically because it is important to observe people to understand the problems they encounter. Now, the term, what is ethnography? This term, ethnography, comes from the Greek words ethnos, which means people, and graphy, which means to write. So this is a written description of a particular culture. We use here with the customs, beliefs, behavior, based on information collected through field work. In other words, ethnography is the study of people in their natural context. Now, it is focused on direct observations, specifically face-to-face interaction, because this is the best way to understand others. Or in sociological terms, you have to take the role of the person. Now, due to the focus on face-to-face interactions within the places where people live, work, or play, ethnography methods are best suited when the question, topic, or situation in which you are interested in is actually physically located somewhere, at least temporarily. So we have what do ethnographers do? Now, this type of researchers should reside in the field for a year or more. So this is a very particular characteristic of ethnographers, and it is mandatory for them to learn the language or dialect so they can make a deeper research. So this is the first one. Next, we have they participate in everyday life, if possible, with an open mentality to focus on their mission. And they usually select and cultivate close relationships with individuals. Socialization plays an important role here, but they cannot get too involved in their participation as observers. There are some boundaries that need to be followed. Next one, we have they focus on and concentrate on the description of current circumstances. It means any special event or situation happening in the community can be a great source of getting more information. Next, they also try to focus on every single detail around them. So they must look very carefully, transport and describe what they see and hear through recorded observations, opinions, and ideas. Well, this is what we have now. We have here now Fernando Campo. Fernando, you have your turn now, and then we will continue with Monica. Fernando?
Thank you, Alex. Very nice.
I'm sorry. I forgot one thing.
Yeah.
This is the chart. This is the chart. Like this is where everything I said is summarized. So everything I said is in this chart, like better explained. And now we will continue with Fernando.
All right. Thanks, Alex. Can you hear me? I hope so. Right. So I'm going to talk to you about two main ethnographers of the 20th century. Bronislaw Malinowski from Poland and Margaret Mead from the United States. These are the two most important anthropologists of the 20th century. Malinowski was born in Poland. He lived in England for most of his life. He was born in 1884 and died in 1942. He was the founder of social anthropology. Most of his field work were the studies of the people of Oceania. He didn't just stay in an office or library and read books. He lived among those people. In 1914, he lived during 6 months among the Mailu people in New Guinea. That was his first field work. Then after that, he moved to the Trobriand Islands, where he worked for 2 years. He spent 2 years living among those people, doing his research and his ethnography work. He lived in a tent among the people. He learned their language. He spoke fluently their language. He recorded texts freely on the scene of actions. He made interviews. He observed reactions and so on. So we are talking about a really hard job here. It's not just about reading books and just transcript data. It's about living among the people, getting into it. Malinowski was able to publish studies on ceremonial exchange, on agricultural economics. No, you can go. You can go back, Alice. Okay. I'm with this. All right. Agricultural economics. He did work about sex. Yeah, about sex, marriage, family life, primitive law, customs, magic, myth. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? He kept field diaries about his problems of isolation and his relations with New Guinea people. That's an example of what an ethnographer does. Isn't it interesting? So there you have Malinowski with the Guinea people, and Margaret Mead, 1978. She was an American anthropologist, well known by her strong personality and the quality of her scientific work. Most of her work was due among 13 primitive societies of South Seas, South Pacific, and Southeast Asian cultures. So he spent a few years among those people. He especially studies regarding aspects of psychology and culture, such as the cultural conditioning of sexual behavior, natural character, cultural exchange, etc. Some examples of her works are Growing Up in New Guinea, Sex and Temperament in 3 Primitive Societies, Balinese Character, a photographic analysis. She became a celebrity and was even awarded after she died with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the United States' highest civilian honor. So she was really a celebrity. Margaret Mead popularized insights of anthropology in modern American and Western culture. That's really a great example of a real committed ethnographer of the 20th century. I'm just going to talk about these 2 ethnographers because are the most important ones I want you to borrow, but let me recommend you a film, documentary that you can watch on YouTube about an ethnographer. This is a real modern example of what an ethnographer does. So I recommend you to watch this documentary filmed 6 years ago by Ulysses Russell. It shows the work of the ethnographer John Palmer, a middle-aged British man who lived within a community of the Huichis people located in Argentina. He spent 20 years of his life among these witchy people. He got married with a witch woman, actually, and took care of her children. But he got really among these people. So there's a documentary about this ethnographer work, which is very impressive. It's a very interesting film. The film is called El Etnógrafo, and it's in Spanish because they speak Spanish and some English, so you can watch it and learn a little bit more of what an ethnographer does. All right, next slide. I think this is my part. This is what I wanted you to talk about. And I think Monica is ready. I think she's having problems with the audio. I don't know if we can give her a chance to try the audio.
Well, apparently Monica has some technical problems with her microphone, but she says that she's gonna give it a try. So Monica, go ahead.
Hi,
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, excellent. Yes, Monica, go ahead.
Okay, hi. I want to talk about, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay,
all right.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I want to tell you the characteristics of ethnography, or shall we continue with the next slide, Alexander? Okay, ethnography in, thank you, ethnography and education, that's fine, thanks. Okay, well, basically about what my two partners have just said, ethnography is a way of living everyday life in the culture or in the group of people that are the research team, the community who are being researched. And in education, ethnography is a way of studying the context of the institution, for example. It's also a way to study the practices and the processes, and well, the context in general, really, of education. So we can understand the problems, and we can do interventions, so we transform our educational communities. Obviously, there are some methods of ethnography. So, Alexander, if you could put the slide of the methods. No, I think it's back before that one, I think. Well, anyway, oh yeah, that one. Thank you. Well, the methods of ethnography are the interviews. The interviews are meant to learn how people think and how this affects their life. They are fully structured, or they are semi-structured. Fully structured are a set of questions which people just have to answer, and the semi-structured interviews, they are flexible because in these interviews you can add questions as the interview goes along. There is the observation part, the observation method, in which you immerse in the community. You are part of the community, and that is what you're researching and how people live. And then we have surveys to gather opinions and beliefs. But it's important not to lead the person being surveyed in specific direction or conclusions. You can't lead people's way of thinking. That's that's not what researchers do. They are part of their community life, but they don't lead them into thoughts, ways of thinking, or emotions. So basically, ethnography is based in 3 principles. The first one, ethnography, is a way of thinking about social research. It's also a way of being and a way of seeing and writing. It exposes everyday life by living it. It exposes activities and emotions. It questions what others take for granted. It makes the familiar strange. It doesn't dive into conclusions. And it's important for the researcher to feel empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and to be attentive to the feelings of others on their terms. So it's important to feel empathy, but as I said before, it's important not to make other people think what you think or what the researcher thinks. So it offers, this kind of research offers an inside view, and this inside view is possible. Thanks to this inside view, it is possible to develop methods and strategies that improve, in the case of education, that improve education and, well, any setting that is being searched. I've finished.
All right. Thank you.
I've included. Sorry. I've included the conclusion, right?
Oh, the conclusion. Thanks. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've included the conclusion. Or if you want to say anything else.
No, go ahead. Moni.
Yeah.
Go.
Sorry.
Go.
Yeah, I said that ethnography was offers an inside view of what is being researched. If in the context of education, then it offers an inside view of the context, of the processes, the practices, well, the context in general. So it is possible to improve, to develop methods and strategies to improve the actual educational settings. And that's that. I don't know if anybody has questions.
And that's it for our presentation, teacher.
Excuse me, Alex, can you show the bibliography, please? The last diapositiva.
Sure, 1 second.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
All right, that's the documentary I was talking to you about, El Ethnógrafo, during 2012. It's a very interesting movie. That's the ethnographer, John Palmer. I recommend you to watch it. It's a little bit slow, but it's interesting to see how this man gets into these people, talk to them in Spanish. He learned Spanish. He studies how they live, and he does his ethnography work on these witchy people in Argentina. In a little village, it's like 200 people. It's very interesting. We got a lot of information from the British, what is it? The Britannica, the Encyclopedia, Britannica Encyclopedia. There you can find a lot of information about ethnography too. But this film is very nice to watch. If you have any question, if you missed a slide or something, we can go back and explain a little bit, or you can go to bed if you like. All right, thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Claudia. You're very nice.
Thank you. It was very clear. The presentation is organized. You included key information. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you so much, teacher.
Thank you.
Okay, you probably are not interested, I guess, in conducting an ethnography study because it takes 1 year, at least, as you mentioned. But anyway, it is important to know about this type of study. It's very interesting, as you mentioned. It is very interesting. Let's imagine that we would like to research about any indigenous community in Colombia. So we would like to know about their thinking about specific words they use in their communities. So in that case, we would need to live with them for at least 1 year to find out the meaning they give to certain words. That's just one example that other type of ethnographic studies could be carried out, not only thinking about the example that I just gave you of the meaning they give to specific words, but other topics. So this type of research is like mainly carried out by sociologists, but we also can carry them out, as I mentioned. Any of you have questions about the presentation, the topic? We are missing 2 more presentations, but it's 9:20, so I think it would be better if those students present next week. Again, next week we have holiday, so again I will publish a link for you to vote if you want the meeting on Friday at 8. This coming Friday at 8. This coming Sunday at 9 a.m. or on the holiday at 8, the same as we did today. So I will publish the link, you vote, and then I will email you as soon as I have the answers of the majority of the students to let you know when the next encounter will take place. Yes, so the options will be Friday, June 8th, this coming Friday at 8 p.m. or Saturday, June 9th at 9 p.m. or Monday, June 11th at 8 p.m. So please use the link that I will create to vote for the day. Good. Any questions before we finish? I record the presentation and the explanation of the task, so you can check it by tomorrow if you want. Okay, very good. Thank you all for joining the encounter, and we'll meet next time regarding, according to the day you vote, okay?